this prediction that's right up here.
Being single most of my life.
Or just yell at Larry Brooks like every other New York Ranger. All right. This has been a great year for commentators and people that we've loved to listen to for a long time. But we've had to say goodbye to another one this week. And by that, it's farewell to Marv Albert. Marv Albert, one of the greatest sportscasters of all time. And people, first, John and I did a great segment about Mike Emmerich, who is probably the greatest hockey voice of all time. If not, he's on a very short list. I still love my Sam Rosen, but you know what? I gotta like Mike Emmerich as much as possible. Check out that video. I'll be putting that in the link that's right above. But going back to Marv Albert, though, he is synonymous with basketball. And I know what people are saying right now. Why are you even talking about him? Well, because he was a versatile announcer. He did several other sports. What you might not know, Marv Albert, voice of the NBA, who especially in the 90s, was still doing Ranger games on the radio. I mean, he called Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Sergei Zubov stick handling up to the Vancouver line. A lead for Kovalev, sets up Trace, walks in, shoots, he scores! It is a power play goal by Adam Graves. His first goal of this series. And the Rangers with a 2-0 lead on the Vancouver Canucks.
Kovalev, the Graves, he scores! I mean, I wish there was a yes! But, you know, he was doing that in the middle of doing the NBA Finals. I mean, of course, Marv Albert's legacy, Marv Albert's got a great legacy with hockey, but Marv Albert's legacy even goes further because his son Kenny has been the voice of the Rangers since 1996. I believe it was 96. It could have been like another year later. But Kenny Albert, who, of course, is been doing Ranger games for years, been doing the NHL on NBC. He does football on Fox. He does baseball on Fox. He got to learn from Marv Albert and several other great announcers. But back to Marv. Marv made basketball entertaining, and that's one of those legacies and one of those guys that his voice will stay with you forever. And I mean, I have memories of him still announcing Ranger games in 1995 during that shortened season. And again, that's a guy that you're talking about when you're the voice of a sport, yet you're still doing radio for the other team that's in that building. That's amazing. And the question I'm gonna turn to you guys. If you said top 5 announcers all time, and you can't pick doubles in your sports. So, I guess you can. All right, just go with Filk. Who's your top 5 announcers? Top of your head.
Gary Thorne's been my favorite since I was a kid. I've loved Gary Thorne. I've even talked about it when we did the Emmerich video. Gary Thorne's my absolute favorite. I love it. I mean, his call when Don Mattingly hit the home run in the 95 playoffs was just incredible.
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Goodbye, home run. Don Mattingly.
I think Gary Thorne just has an energy that's just, it's a different type of energy from Emmerich. It's just, I don't know, you just can't match it. Emmerich would probably be number 2 or number 3 for me because, I mean, he just gets it. He gets the energy. He gets how to relay it. He can tell stories within the game and not go too far off tangents.
Something we have trouble with.
Yeah, we have a lot of trouble with tangents. Sorry, guys. We apologize. We're probably going to do it again, though, so just be aware. I would also say Bob Cole and Harry Neal. That combination together, it just incredible watching the old CBC playoff games. Just I would say it's just an incredible combination, those two. Who who else would I put in my top 5? I would say John Davidson for color commentary. Just another one, just incredible. And then Sam Rosen, obviously. I know I look homerish there, but it just, these guys gave you a different feel. If you want guys that are out of my market that I think are just amazing, Randy Hahn is incredible in San Jose. He's still going, and he's been with them almost since the beginning. Bob Miller of the LA, he used to be of the LA Kings. He retired a few years back. Bob Miller was great. He was actually the voice in the Mighty Ducks D2 movie. If you remember that, that's Bob Miller's voice in that movie. So those are another 2 guys out of market. And then John Forsland, who has just been the voice of the Hartford Whalers and Carolina Hurricanes for God knows how long. I think he's been with that organization for like 25, maybe even more years. He's going to be the first announcer for the Seattle Kraken. Congratulations to him. Another all-time great voice. So, show you those are honorable mentions, guys that I love listening to and watching their games.
Just before I turn it over to Anthony for a second, I was talking about guys that had great versatility, and you mentioned Gary Thorne right off the bat. Gary Thorne as a baseball announcer, he's just as good as baseball as he is for hockey. And also Sam Rosen does a great job for football. Oh, he does great for football. Again, as I said, Kenny Albert, most versatile. He can do 4 different sports at 4 different days. Yeah. And that's what makes him amazing. And again, because his father was the same way. Marv Albert could announce anything. Anthony.
So for me, some of the guys that come top of my mind, best announcers, Doc Emmerich. I love Doc Emmerich. I think he's the greatest hockey play-by-play for my money. I like Vince Scully. I think Vince Scully was great. I just, not that I heard him on a daily basis, but, every time you heard him call a baseball game, he just had that voice that kind of drew you in. I loved listening to him. Growing up, Jiggs McDonald, before Harry Rose took over, Islander play-by-play guy. I think he's actually in the Hockey Hall of Fame for play-by-play. He was great. Childhood and memories. Him and Ed Westfall doing games together. I'll always remember him. I liked Harry Rose a lot, but when Jiggs left, it felt like a little bit of a gut punch. Then football, I like Pat Summerall. I thought Pat Summerall and John Madden were good together. He even did the commentary in the Sega Genesis video games. He just had that voice that it was kind of like he was big. What do you know about Brett Favre, John? His voice was just it was just great. I guess not only from listening to him on the TV, but just all the years of playing like the NFL video games, hearing him, I just kind of had a fond memory of him. And then of course Gary Thorne too, his baseball versatility along with the hockey, his Paul Correa call when Correa got flattened by Scott.
That's still his best.
Memorable. Which, by the way, Paul Correa would have never saw the ice again if that was in today's game. He would have been in concussion protocol for days. He would have never came back. But yeah, he was great too. So those are kind of the names that came to mind for me. It's great. That's a hard job to do. So all these guys, they made it their craft, and they provided us all with so many memories. It's you think of countless calls that you could kind of like play in your head or bring up on YouTube just to hear the commentary on it. But as far as Marv Albert goes, I'm not a basketball fan at all anymore, but I would say the mid to late 90s, like 90, 96, 97, 98. That was probably the last time I really followed basketball, but I always knew Marv Albert was known for his he used to do a lot of the Knick games and his patented yes. But no, he was great. He was great at what he did, and so was his son.
Yeah, I would say Mike Breen also in the NBA is just he's wonderful to listen to. He's been great for the Knicks. But in hockey, someone who's really on the rise for me, and I actually like him when he's away from his normal partner a lot more, because he's really good at what he does, is Brendan Burke. Brendan Burke, for me, when he's on national, is awesome to listen to. I think he's got the voice for it.
Mhm.
He's got the energy. He's really good. Like, he's one of those guys where, like, if Sam Rosen left, I would want him at the top of my team's list to call Rangers game. I mean, Howie Rose obviously would be the guy that would want to replace him just because of the fact that, Howie's been wanting that job for years. We all know he's wanted Sam's job. That's been his lifelong dream. No offense to Sam or anything like that. And Howie's obviously not cutthroat about it, but we all know Howie Rose is a Ranger fan. We know the call. I don't even have to mention the name. We all know the call.
Swoops in to intercept. Matto behind the net. Swings it in front. He scores! Matto! Stefan Matto! And the Rangers have one more hill to climb, baby! But it's Mount Vancouver! The Rangers are headed to the final!
But Brendan Burke is phenomenal at what he does today when he's away from Butch Goring. And it's... I like listening to him, especially when he's not calling the Islanders, because he's great at what he does. You really get to see him in his own.
I often say about Brendan Burke before I get into my five, about his energy that he brings is about the closest to Mike Emmerich possibly ever, because he does kind of, the moment kind of builds, and he'll just, and I love his goal call. I think it's great. Because I mean, there were other guys that are understated like that. Like I'll keep going back to Kenny Albert. Kenny Albert is just like, and he scores. You never have to worry about it getting too big. My all-time guys. You know what? You were bringing up Pat Summerall. I got to go with Pat Summerall as one of them, because after all, not only can he call a game very well, but also you could hear him and just say, coming up afterwards, 60 minutes and murder, she wrote. and also hearing him in Golden Tee for years when I was playing that. Where it's
the arcade.
Welcome to Mystic Hills and the sky is ominous. It sure is that. Or of course there was also Keith Jackson, who also did a great job with college football and also with Major League Baseball when he was doing it for ABC. Al Michaels, right there. Al Michaels, phenomenal. Everything he's ever done. One of the most famous calls of all time. Obviously, Do You Believe in Miracles? And Mike Emmerich. Mike Emmerich, who could be candid, it would be a wordsmith, skeetered, drubbed. I'm trying to think of all the different names. Feathered a pass across. I mean, he waffle boarded away. There were so many different adjectives that he had for the moment, and yeah. Actually, you know what? I have an idea. If I could ever sit down and do it, Mike Emmerich calling golf, where it just balls will rim out and it will not go. Pitching,
I know you guys probably hated this one, but his Henrique it's over call against the Devils was one of his like more well-known ones in 2012.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
I hate it for the memory. I like it for the call.
Well, so, yeah,
I just hate
I'm
it for the
not
memory.
being like a dicky. I'm just saying that was one of his more like one of his
I know.
ones that stuck out over the years.
I just mess with you.
And then lastly, it's Marv, because in no particular order, I'm saying these guys, because of course you can't help but think about the NBA in the '90s was in all of its glory, and then it's Jordan from way downtown. Yes, like how does it get better than that? How does it get better than that? I know I'm just saying one sentence, but it always was the best. You know what? And now the bell's rung, and you can't ring the bell anymore, and it's just
That's a good one.
which it's good that the NHL is bringing back the ESPN theme. I would love to find out what TNT is going to do with their theme.
I love that.
They'll probably have Andrew Ferentz helping to make that. Seriously, guys, Andrew Ferentz, that's what you came up with. I still have to answer the comment for the other guy just to let him know. Yeah, I still can't believe they had it on there. Did you like that video? Of course you did. So why not check out some more of our content? You can check the playlist right here or right here.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.